Hello everyone, on this HCW show we will be covering the news this week, mainly centering around the quote-unquote disastrous tryouts and WWE potentially moving back to taking top indie stars. And since the news is pretty much exclusively about SummerSlam from there, we will be covering all that as part of our SummerSlam review. Stay tuned, roll intro.
It's time for HCW News.
Hello everyone, thanks very much for joining us again in the HCW show. My name's RGX, joined as always by Frozzy and RateWrestle. How you doing, guys?
Good. Trying to get back into the swing of work again after a month off. It's been like killer for the last 2 days, but yeah, doing well.
Glad to hear it. What about yourself, Rate?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm just knackered all the time still, but except for that, I'm fine, pretty much. Looking forward to rating SummerSlam.
Mate, you know what? I am really looking forward to reviewing this show.
It was terrible.
So, we'll start off with the news first, though. So, on SummerSlam weekend in Nashville, WWE held more other NIL tryouts, which makes it pretty much specifically like college athletes straight out of university. It is said to have not gone very well at all. Fightful are reporting there were several concussions, people turning up out of shape, the promos being particularly poor, with the only highlight really being some NBA player that I don't even remember the name of. Let me just consult my notes.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I know, it wasn't Kobe. Dwight Howard.
Saying that.
Turned up, but as far as I'm aware, he's still under NBA contract. He's not even available to WWE right now. So
Good times.
the upshot of that is that Triple H has pretty much decided they're moving away from that program. They're not going to turn away college athletes, but they're no longer running tryouts specifically for them because they haven't got anyone who's trained to make sure that they don't land on their heads. What's the fact that this is Triple H's NXT, WWE now, so he's going to want people who can actually wrestle on his shows as well.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Very much glad to see the back of the college program because, as I say, that amount of injuries, that's WWE liability. And especially the fact if any of them are still under contract or still at college, if they miss any like sports games, be it football, gymnastics, whatever, then WWE could be liable for them missing those shows. So even from that standpoint,
it just doesn't make sense to have that college program because, like you said, as well as all that, you've got them. They're not properly trained and they're not ready for TV. Whereas if you get an indie, someone from the indies, they're trained, they might not be ready for TV and know where all your hard cams are and stuff like that, but at least they've got a basic knowledge of how to perform a move.
they not get dumped on their head or dump others on theirs. Yeah, as I alluded to earlier, the vast majority of the news is relating to SummerSlam, so I'll cover that in the SummerSlam review. One other bit of host news is I am doing Brave the Shave for cancer relief. You may have seen the video on the channel already. I'm not going to be one of those relentless ones who's going to bring it up in every video. Just know that future videos, the donation link will be in the description along with our socials. And in other news, I am now moving my chair and you can't hear a thing because I got a fancy new chair finally.
I knew you were going to flex about this as soon as I saw the picture earlier on.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming up later.
Real leather.
Well, actually, he puts a trailer. Wait till he puts a trailer video in during this.
I know, yeah.
Going, oh my god, I need to fall off a chair.
He'll have a video uploaded to the channel soon with his own entrance music of him pushing it into the room.
Podium with Glorious playing. Glorious.
But yeah, nice chair, mate.
My second favourite chair you've had.
It's that old chair is going straight to the recycling centre at the weekend.
Is it?
So glad to be short of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually sitting on what feels like a cushion now, and not before, which felt like I was sitting on
metal.
Right, yeah, pretty much. And when you're sat in this chair for an 8-hour workday and for watching 12 hours of wrestling a week, you kind of need a bit of comfort.
Of course you do.
So, anyway, let's get rattling straight on with the SummerSlam review.
HCW Reviews.
Take it away, Ray.
Excellent. SummerSlam happened. It was alright. That's my review now. We kicked off with Bianca versus Becky, which I was surprised was opening the show until the report. I had Lashley and Theory because I thought they'd give the longest gap between Theory and the main event. But yeah, Bianca versus Becky, so it's like your power versus your technical wrestling. I instantly wrote here, I've got a gripe with Bianca Belair, as we've already discussed. She won't be selling in this match. And she just forgets. It annoys me. I don't know why. They did a timekeeper spot, but it was an actual fun spot where Bianca got thrown over and then Becky did a leg drop. So I'm fine with that. Becky was selling her arm, so I picked out that.
Just to pop in with the first bit of SummerSlam news, she wasn't just selling it because of the move. She actually separated her shoulder. There is a pretty gruesome gif where you can actually see it. It's
grim.
Yeah, it is. It's disgusting.
But she popped it back in herself and then wrestled the next. How long was it on Cage Match? 18, 19 minutes?
Yeah, she wrestled a good 10, 15 minutes afterwards, didn't she?
Yeah.
It was quite early in the match.
So
she's the man.
No word yet on if she'll need surgery. They did do an angle surrounding it on Raw. Not all hosts have watched it yet, and of course we'll be covering it on the show on Thursday. So I'll leave it at that. But please continue, Ray.
Yeah, so then there was a few spots like Bianca at the KOD outside. They did the 10. The one of the small things I don't like at recent wrestling is the 10 count near fall kind of thing, where they're literally still lying on the floor at 9, and then they rise like the Exorcist into the ring. It was like,
I was fuming.
Yeah,
absolutely fuming. DP tagged me in Discord and was like, "You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love what's just happened." I was like, "Mate, I'm watching it."
Yeah, like it's just I don't get it. Like, at least get up at 7 slowly or something. Not just like
just like have some form of life in you. Don't just stay as still as you can till 9 and then just jump in the ring. Bothers me so much.
But then Becky hair manhandle slammed Bianca, which is a funny spot. Bianca did then, it kind of was a bit back and forth. They got to the top rope, and then Bianca hit a Spanish fly, which I've not seen her hit before. And then she followed that up with like proper desperation, hit the KOD to pick up the win. I rated it 3.5 stars. Very, very good opener.
Yeah, I would have gone slightly higher on that, but I still really enjoyed it. It was their best match of their series.
I don't agree.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought they've had a better match than that before. Like, it was good. I'm not saying it was bad at all. It was a very good match. I just think they've had better.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would agree as well. Yeah, but it's still very good. Like, if this is one of their weaker matches, it's gone.
Yeah, no, exactly. It says it all for the others. So
yeah.
Maybe I've got a thing with recency. I don't
know.
But then this was followed by Bianca and Becky showing respect to each other, which everyone was quite surprised by. And then out of nowhere, Bayley's back. We all expected to come back at SummerSlam, but we didn't expect this. So
That's
Bailey
just
walks
so much
down the
better.
entrance. She's like doing a mocking like role model kind of gimmick still, and then out of nowhere, Dakota Kai, out of all people, is suddenly back.
Oh yeah,
Like, and then instantly, you know, this is Triple H's time.
yeah.
That's why immediately on Twitter I posted the death of Triple H on the phone. Like, I want to see what he's been up to the last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so that was a surprise. And then what we've been discussing in the podcast recently about the next person that they're never going to get on the main roster and they're probably going to leave WWE. But here comes Io Shirai. I mean, Io Sky.
Yeah, Sky.
Fuck. I thought I buried Corey Graves so many times until I found out he was right.
Yeah.
Why do you keep calling us Sky? And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No one's announced this, so I'm still technically fair enough.
No, and a package, like the video package that
Yeah,
plays
it still
the
said
music,
Shirai.
still said Shirai. So
but yeah, so this led to them having like a Bianca, Becky had left at this point, so Bianca was on the own. They're calling themselves the Control, I believe. So they got in the ring. They're about to have a face down, and then like sourpuss Becky turned up out of nowhere. I love that emotion. And then Bailey did the cowardly heel thing and led the team away. This is not the moment. But yeah, that's a way to kick off SummerSlam, I guess.
So
it was a very good way to kick it off.
Yeah, incredible. There's no word yet on the terms of contracts for both Dakota and Io. I'm classing them the two together because Io was essentially a free agent. So it had come to days before her contract was due to expire. No word on what their contracts are, but they are very much main roster, and obviously Triple H has huge plans for the group now known as Control.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. As I said, we saw bits on Monday, but we'll discuss that on Thursday. So this sweeped into the next match, which was Miz versus Logan Paul. I spoke highly of Logan Paul in his WrestleMania match, how good he was, and he kind of proved it again. That he's stupidly athletic for a lot and talented for annoyingly.
Yeah. It is more annoying than anything else, purely because it's him.
And I feel bad.
Yeah, you can't knock him.
I feel bad for saying this. So I made the same things. Obviously, they fought the Mysterios at WrestleMania, but the difference between Dominic Mysterio and Logan Paul already is astounding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Paul was impressive. This was the perfect match for him as his first singles match because Miz is a good wrestler. He's a safe wrestler as well. He's not like pulling out stupid moves. Logan Paul hit the prime kicks. So I'm guessing that's what they're calling them now because of his beer. And they're sponsoring Arsenal now, aren't they, RGX? If you heard about that. Ciampa came out at this point. And he started pissing around outside. The referee attended to throw him out, but then Ciampa went, "No, I'm not leaving." And I was like, "What are they going to do here?" He's just sat down and went, "I'm not leaving." Okay, and then
I've waited so long for someone to do that. I've waited so long for it, and Ciampa did it.
I'm not going.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But the reason they did this because obviously AJ Styles' music hit, and then he hit a phenomenal forearm. On Ciampa, just about. And then Logan hit a phenomenal forearm. So
it was more like a below average forearm, I'll be honest. It was the worst thing he did in the match.
Yeah, it was more like a battering ram because he left the ropes with the forearm already out instead of swinging it while he's in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still incredible. Like, him on his second match trying a springboard.
Absolutely. No, I've no doubt that having Miz rehearsed that match about 50 times in the Performance Center, but still.
Yeah.
But so yeah, then they did the spot where Logan pulled off the announcer table, rolled Miz onto it, and then we had Logan Guerrero come out of nowhere as he did a full-on frog splash from miles.
I was going to say, he got some distance there.
I thought he was going over him into the crowd and carrying on.
What annoys me the most is the fact that is the best apron to table spot I have seen in a very, very long time. I'm actually racking my brain to try to think of a better one.
Yeah, the one I always think of is the Shawn Michaels moonsault. That's the one, because that's just stupidly impressive, doing a moonsault to a table.
Yeah, but even then, he didn't get it clean.
He hit
but he's backwards, isn't he? Yeah, whereas Logan Paul, he's facing the right way, but he's also Logan Paul that's had one match, so fair enough. Good old Logan Paul. And then he rolled him into the ring, and to add insult to injury, he hit the skull-crushing finale just to add to the ultimate insult. But I really enjoyed this match. I rated it 3 1/4 stars, though I wasn't as much into this as I was into the Bianca and Becky match.
Yeah, I had them both about. I would say Bianca and Becky was better in terms of, like, they're both wrestlers, they both know what they're doing, they've had plenty of matches together. I find it hard to mark this down purely because Logan Paul's not as experienced. So I had them both, like, a par. Like, if Logan Paul continues at this for a while, he's going to be very, very good.
Hold on, you rated Johnny Knoxville's match and he's not experienced, and you rated that highly.
Johnny Knoxville has had the best match this year, mate. I mean, we're not even getting into it, so...
Oh,
Jesus.
Jesus.
Match of the year's already wrapped up.
Yeah, it's already done.
Good grief. So yeah, we're going to continue after I brought that for no reason and ruined myself there. So yeah, Lashley versus Theory.
Hold on.
What?
Our podcast co-host will hate you for life if you skip over this.
Yes,
the
he will.
Best maximum male model segment so far.
Yes.
We're actually bringing this up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we are. Did you not see it?
No.
What? Oh
Wait,
my god.
Did you genuinely see all maximum male models and skip it?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have watched
more
it.
for you, because it was genuinely good. I've been saying ironically that it's been good. I've actually hated it so far.
Yeah.
I've just been.
Is this the beachwear that was on SmackDown as well? Okay, because I've put bin on that if you want my spoiler before we go on.
So you know how WWE do like the advertising segments for like Capital One and all the rest of it?
Oh, it's not Monte with the water, is it?
Yeah. For purely water, and it was done to perfection.
Yeah, they couldn't have done it any better. It was mint.
because it was intentionally dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it was very Zoolander with the petrol in the gas station. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so bad it's good. That's what it is. And
for me, it was the kind of stamp that proved that Triple H is the one to go forward. Because he even took a Vince thing that actually made it entertaining.
Yeah. They're not going away.
Oh, Lashley versus Spears next. Do we want to continue with male models? I don't want to hinder your buzz here.
No, that was it, to be fair.
Excellent.
Max Dupree's back, just filling all the roof.
Yeah, that was on SmackDown, wasn't it? I saw that. Which we'll discuss on Thursday. And by discuss, DP will discuss it, and then I'll give my review afterwards. So, Lashley versus Fury for the third time. So, it started with a jump tack. Lashley is just like a full-on beast, to be fair. He was absolutely mauling Fury for most of this matchup. He got pushed into the post and stuff like that. Nothing really major happened in this. Ended with Fury getting tapped out again with the Hurt Lock. I rated 2.5. Like, it was just your average matchup. It wasn't there it was just to stop that rivalry, and obviously Fury's got better things to do right now.
Beastest match on the card for me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he tapped out quick enough, which was good.
Which we all saw coming as well, which is why he was practically my top. Last year he was practically top what?
Yeah.
But aye.
Yeah. So we followed this up with Judgment Day versus Los Mysterios, because they're Spanish. So Los. Well, they're Mexican, but Spanish, you know. So Mysterios were like quick to start on this. They had the jump start. Judgment Day then got into control for a lot of the matchup. It was weird. Brian Alvarez brought this up, but I brought this up in my notes as well. I completely forgot it's a no DQ match, and both teams were waiting for tags.
Yeah.
And it was just like, happening.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brian Alvarez, to be fair, brings that up all the time when WWE do no DQ tag matches.
it just makes no sense, so fair enough.
No, it doesn't.
It might as well just be a tornado tag straight
It's
away.
the only good point he ever makes.
Yeah. This led to, there was a bit of thought. Ripley did a Ripley smash out of nowhere, which we were all looking forward to, the return of Ripley. And then suddenly out of nowhere, there's a returning face, and that's Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem has returned to WWE.
What I find funny is, and I was when I was watching it back to take notes, because I've watched it twice already. By that much. Normally I'll skim notes as I'm going, but by this point in the show, I was enjoying it as much and thought to myself, I'll go back and rewatch for my notes.
Yeah.
I was trying to watch for the fans having the stage thing rolled out, because obviously it was halfway down the ramp already.
Yeah.
So there must have been dragging that right past everyone during the match. But I genuinely, whether intentionally by WWE or what, they had it very well. You can even see fans looking over to see what it was. So it was well done.
But it wasn't Duke Nukem, it was Edge, just so people know. But yeah, so Edge hit the ring. He kind of cleared house. He speared, I think, Balor. It might have been Priest. And then the Los Mysterios picked up the win. I rate this 2 3/4. It would have been 2.5, but the Edge return kind of boosted it slightly for me.
What I did find funny is Botchamania with the SummerSlam stuff is already out.
Yeah, I watched it, yeah.
So you see his reaction to him kind of biffing his splash
his finish, yeah.
Like, punch the mat off over, punch the turnbuckle, but it's like proper.
He failed in front of his son. He's got to do his honour.
I enjoy this.
It's alright, his son hasn't made up to him in Raw. I'm not going to go into more detail than that.
No, but as a match, I didn't enjoy this.
Yeah, it was pretty much average. As I said, it only just got above 2.5 due to the Edge return, kind of added a bit more to it. But the way it was set out and everything was a bit off.
Yeah.
So this led to Mcafee. Yeah. It's just because it was a throwaway match, thinking about it. All it was there for is Edge.
Yeah.
Mcafee versus Corbin was up next. So Corbin comes down to the ring and he's halfway down the ring, and then suddenly there's a choir.
Corbin.
Yeah.
It was great, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know if this was a fever dream. At WrestleMania, did he come down to the White Stripes?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I was just expecting it again, and it didn't happen.
I know, I was a bit disappointed, though. I'd heard about his new theme, because WWE Twitter posted it the day before. So I wasn't expecting White Stripes, but I was still sad it was gone.
Yeah, because it's a killer. I love Trent Seven uses it on the Indies, and it's a banger of a tune. And he had the name Seven in his name.
I think the problem is it leaves the fans chatting to the 7H and Army theme for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's so repetitive. Like it's in your head. This was your typical like Corbin was leading a lot of this, but Mcafee got some good stuff in. Obviously, the super kick was insane. I didn't expect that from him, even though every man and his dog does it. Cole had no opinion on this match, and he definitely didn't want Mcafee to win.
Let's be fair. Like the quote is, like Graves said to him, "I liked it better when you weren't allowed to have an opinion." Cole's reply, "That's changed. A lot's changed, and I will say this now, so that when I go into full gush mode at the end of the show, Michael Cole is bloody brilliant now. But he's not got Vince in his ear. I will elaborate further once we've finished the
you can hear in his voice as well. He doesn't sound like he's worried to say something.
No, we'll elaborate on it in a bit.
Yeah. So Corbin was battering Mcafee at this point. He pushed Cole. There was a spot where Pat has to get his suplex into his where he jumps to the top rope in one bound to do a suplex. He did a Swanton standing bomb, I called it here. Where
you mean the Swanton Bombini?
Bombini, then fair enough. But So he nearly fell off the rope, but give him credit, he kind of steadied himself. Corbin was standing and he hit a Swanton Bambini on him. So that's he just bounced off Corbin, I'm going to be honest. And then he hit a code red out of nowhere as well. This was after he hit a low blow. I hadn't watched SmackDown at this point, and I can understand why he hit the low blow, because it was just really out the blue for me. But it makes more sense to me now.
Yeah, it was a turnabout. It's fair play.
Yeah. So I wasn't massive into this match. I'm not going to lie. I rated 2 3/4. Like, it wasn't amazing.
Wasn't as good as his Mania match.
Yeah.
No. I think that's more to do with Theory being very, very good.
Yeah.
And the ropes not being slippy as all hell from being in an outdoor arena in the high humidity.
Yeah, true.
You saw people do it all night, like removing turnbuckle pads and try to dry off the ropes for their spots.
Yeah.
But this for me is what Corbin should be doing. Yeah. Corbin was good here.
Yeah, very good. Corbin's underrated. Yeah. And hopefully it's changing, like as we discussed more and more, the changes with the titles as well. Kind of will get him into more of an essence. But yeah, this followed by a Drew McIntyre segment. So he was just hyping up he's going to have a match at Clash. And by a match, he's going to be in the main event at Clash. He did it in front of Colt. That's more important.
No, what he was talking about was he's going to face the winner of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the first time ever in a last man standing match in Nashville in front of what's your name, kids? In front of Colt.
Yeah,
first time ever.
But Colt had a moment to last, though, didn't he? The whole stadium was calling his name. That's a nice moment for him. And then he did his usual spiel, and then he lifted his sword up, and fireworks everywhere.
Can you imagine if the kid's name was actually Holt and he just didn't pick up his name properly because of how loud it was?
Yeah.
Imagine if his name was Vince or something like that.
Vince.
Dear. It's me, Drew. So yeah, this was followed by the Usos versus the Profits for the 75th time. I didn't realise how many times they've wrestled until I added it to my the Street Profits page I got on my website. And their best matches, about 20 of them, of the Usos. So Jeff Jarrett was calling this match straight down the middle, which because I hadn't watched SmackDown yet, this made more sense to me. But when I've watched SmackDown, without going to the details, he said he was just there to count the pin. He didn't care what would happen. In this match, he cared. He did all the rules, Jeff Jarrett. Like, he was breaking up counts and everything like that.
He was channeling his little niche.
Yeah. So he was doing it for both teams, though, so it was proper straight down the middle. So you had the corner spot where one guy was beating him up, and then he's counting to 5, but he drags him off. Then the Street Profits did it, but he dragged them off as well. So Dawkins tried to do a hot tag where he dived to Montez Ford, but he completely missed Montez Ford. And then Montez Ford was like, "What you got to do?" And then Jarrett went, "Yeah, you tagged." And he was like, "Okay, fair enough." Profits had some good double team moves at this point. They did it. Had a near fall with the Usos. Did their double splash and got a near fall. Montez Ford did his finish, which never wins any match ever, and got a near fall on that.
And then incredibly frustrated and heelish at it.
Yeah,
well, it's not even mentioned.
And then Montez got thrown into the crowd, basically, and this ended up with Angelo Dawkins taking the L when the Usos hit the 1D to pick up the win. Right, this 3 1/4 stars. I did enjoy it. It was a good tag team match. It's the same match over and over and over again.
Let's never see this again, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can watch it before they all the matches blend into one.
Yeah. And then this was followed by Bro. So Riddle just comes out of nowhere. For some reason, the security are like, "No, you shouldn't be here," even though he works for the company. I don't know what that was about.
I think it's because he might, in my head, That's because like he went storming through Gorilla saying, "I'm calling him out. Like I'm backfilling story," which is like cardinal rule number one, never to do. But it's the only way it made sense to me that the security were out there, that they knew exactly what he was planning to do.
But so this led to him calling out Rollins. Rollins and Riddle had a brawl at that point. Riddle asked for this, and then he got curb stomped.
Yeah.
So it's his own fault. And now he's with Randy. On the sidelines.
Hilarious watching Seth run and everyone run after him. Like, have you seen the gif of it being done to like Chariots of Fire?
That's just so good. This was followed by Rousey's versus Morgan. Rousey hit an insane knee, by the way. Like a jump up knee was incredible. Liv got her in a Rings of Saturn, which I appreciate because I love a good Rings of Saturn. This was followed by Rousey getting her into every armbar known to man. And then in the end, there was a weird bit that happened where Rousey got her into another armbar, but Liv stacked her. The referees counted 2. Liv has clearly tapped about a second before the 3 count. And then the commentators, and that's obviously the end. Rousey thinks she's won. But then obviously they award it to Liv. The commentators are kind of trying to sell it that Cole was saying I couldn't see a tap. And then Corey Graves is going, there's clearly a tap. I've written here at this point, VAR. Why in wrestling company at this point? Can't they go, hold on, let's restart this match?
Referee's decision is final.
Yeah. So, obviously, Liv was happy about this, and then Rousey was absolutely pissed, and Rousey smash. She flipped the ref. I thought she was going to start battering every man and his dog at this point. But we all knew this was just leading to her getting suspended, because they don't want to run back her versus Liv straight away. So it's a kind of an out for the match at the moment.
That and the fact that Ronda's a much better heel than she has a face.
Yeah. Oh, it showed straight away.
There's no world that you can ever believe that if they rematch straight away that Rousey's not winning. So
for me, when it comes to Ronda Rousey, when it comes to her promos, she's got 2 modes. She's either like monotone robot, or she's the little kid for Wild Thornberries. There's no in between.
Yeah. But yeah, so that obviously, I read it 2.25 stars. Like, it was a squash match. It was fine, but it was short. So there's nothing much I could say about it. And then the moment we were all waiting for, Kane was there.
I forgot that he was there until you said that.
Yeah, I blinked and he was on the screen. I was like, "Oh God, it's Kane! Oh God, it's Kane!"
Yeah, we have the big fake number in attendance. Rah.
You see how he rattled through it as well? Like, he felt awkward. He rattled through it straight away. I've never seen that happen that quickly. Yeah, I've never seen
doing that.
Yeah,
like he didn't know if he was meant to or not. He's like, "Am I meant to do this now?" Well...
It would have been really awkward if he wasn't, and then nothing happened.
Imagine if he does that when he goes into every meeting, when he's doing his government duties and whatnot. He's just like, right, let's get on with today's agenda.
To be fair, these days Kane was out there for maybe 20 seconds, and that was 20 seconds too much Kane for me.
Yep.
The mayor of Knoxville County. Yeah. No, yeah. Kane shouldn't have been there, but because it's in Nashville, that's the only reason. But yeah. We'll move on quickly. So we went straight to the main event, which was Roman versus Lesnar. This was definitely my match of the night.
100%.
Like, it had everything it needed to have. It was fun.
This is the best match they've had, by the way.
Yeah.
Roman had the longest entrance I've ever seen in my life. It lasted about 10 minutes.
I was watching Wrestling with Regrets review of it earlier. He said that Roman, because he was watching it back in the hotel room after doing StarCast stuff, he said that Roman's entrance was his cue to go and grab his shower. So he went for a shower, but washed normally, didn't rush, but dried, dressed again, and Reigns' entrance was just wrapping up.
He was still on the entrance, on the entrance ramp. So then Brock comes out. Brock starts walking to the ring. Then he goes, you know what? Let's bring this tractor out.
When I first saw it, I was like, so that's what they've given Brock to get him to come back to SmackDown every week.
This is his tractor now.
He looked so happy. He was like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah,
I bet they didn't show it him.
You can just tell what Triple H said to him, look, see if you come back to SmackDown, do SummerSlam, I'll buy you a tractor.
We'll get you a combine harvester.
I bet he didn't say that, though. I bet he just went, we've got a surprise for you. Walk out and then turn left. And he's like... Yeah, he's drove that down to the ring. He's lifted up the dumper at the top and then stood on top of that. Then they had to get...
I was talking to DP when he drove the tractor down, and he was like, yeah, the tractor's going to have some factor in this match. I'm like, really? Do you think?
I'm surprised no one got hit off it. The crane, it looked so close to the ring. I kept thinking someone was getting thrown off it.
Yeah. What I loved as well about this during the entrance is obviously Brock grabs the mic to do his own introduction and then just tosses the mic and reigns in the most smooth motion ever. It almost like it just slips into his hand and gives Brock a little wink. It's just is cool.
Yeah, it's just like
acknowledge him. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, I do now after that.
Yeah.
So that kicked off the match from there. So Brock Lesnar, I nearly said Rock Lesnar, let's go with that. Brock Lesnar did a dive off top of the dumper, which was just full on the scariest thing I've ever seen. Imagine Brock Lesnar, and he full on landed him and started pummeling him. Imagine that, like fuck. I bet it wasn't even planned.
Your life would be flashing before your eyes. Right?
Oh god, please don't elbow me, Brock. I don't want to bleed yet. So. This was, they had the spots around, so Brock Lesnar was in control for a lot of this. He was basically bouncing Roman around the ring until cowardly Heyman came out of nowhere. He was about to tap Brock, which was clearly not going to happen. He was like, oh no! And then he started doing his shivering thing. Roman took control. He Samoan dropped Lesnar through a table, and then shortly after that, he hit a Uranagi through a table as well. They did a spot, I don't know what at this point, but basically the table was in half and it was on the floor and Lesnar put him through the half of the table, which was cool to see as well. You never see that. It's normally on the table and then it's done with.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell that as you were doing it. I genuinely think the only spots they have planned out were like the kind of big set pieces. You can just tell they were wandering around the ring and go, let's do that.
Yeah. And it could have gone terribly wrong, I'm going to be honest, because the table leg was there. And then this ended up with Brock throwing, I nearly said Trent. Where did Trent come from? Brock throwing Roman into the dumper of the tractor, lifting it up, and then dumping him, which was the most boom kind of air.
I expected so much more. He fell out about 3 foot. I was like,
I think the biggest problem was he kind of rolled when he landed. Yeah. If you could have fell out and then splat, completely flat and didn't move, it would have looked better.
Yeah, it doesn't look too safe, didn't it? Yeah.
The rolling could have made it look a bit.
Brock hit an F5 after this point. He tried to pick up the win, didn't get it. Then he was going to hit another F5, but Roman got his guillotine in, which was silly. This is one of the part of the match I didn't like. Brock passed out completely. And then he just suddenly miraculously was up. It's like, you've choked out a guy. There's no way a guy's getting up in 10 seconds. Like, that was my main gripe with that. And then Roman was battered again in the ring, and then Lesnar walked out to the tractor. He gets in the tractor, and then he rams the tractor into the ring, and the ring goes flying. I'm like, oh, what's he going to do? Like, you're just going to push it into the crowd? And then he wedges the dumper underneath the ring, and then he just slowly lifts it, and Roman, you can see him in the ring going, it's like gang beats. was like gang weeks, how limp he went. He just rolled down.
Spoiler
So yeah.
alert, it's going to be in the thumbnail.
Oh, it's gotta be. It's the great. It's so good.
Yeah,
It
it
could
was
have
one
went
of the
so
greatest
wrong.
pictures you'd never see.
Yeah, it was just Roman picked perfectly. He got in the top corner where it was gonna. So he had this bounce out moment.
Brock
And then
was
out of
so
nowhere-
cool when he like got out and like stood in the corner up at the top like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, which was I surprised. I completely forgot they hadn't come down yet. But the Usos came out of nowhere to attack Brock. They started beating down, but Brock was like, "Nah, fam," and started throwing them all around the ring like nothing had happened.
Even though Jay helped.
Yeah, did you see?
I think
Jay and Jimmy.
I think he was supposed to do the double suplex spot, but Jay just realised I'm just getting in the way and helped push his brother over.
Yeah, it was like that used to, when I was in training, that's how the trainer used to help you with that kind of spot. He'd help you flip over. So someone would pick you up and then he'd help you with the motion. And it was like Jimmy was trying to teach him. I've lost my note in my happiness. SummerSlam. There we are. So yeah. So yeah, the Ultimate Warrior then beat Hogan. So yeah, the Usos are down. Brock Lesnar F5 Heyman through the announce table, which I didn't expect ever to happen.
No, me neither.
Heyman took it like a champ as well.
That's what made me think, right, okay, they're serious about the finalness of this.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go from Brock finally getting his proper vengeance on Heyman?
Yeah.
And then obviously everyone's quite laid out at this point, and then Austin Theory makes his way down to the ring.
Down.
And he got in. I was thinking, how are they going to work this out? Is it going to be a triple threat last man standing match, or does it just become a triple threat? Like what? So he's about to cash in, and then Brock was like, "No." Absolutely destroys him with a briefcase off and wailing on him. And then Roman got on top at this point because the Usos can't help. They super kicked him. Roman then hit Theory with the Money in the Bank briefcase just for the banter. He lambasted Lesnar. Lesnar got up at 9. Then he hit him with the title. And then I think he got up at 9 at that point. And I can't remember what.
This is where,
yeah,
this is where Michael Cole came into his own.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what he hit him with, but then obviously he landed on the floor and then they threw everything on him. They had to roll Heyman off the table to get another.
It was a bit of the table.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, if I could put the rest of it on him.
Yeah, and then like everything got dived on it. They had to roll Heyman off the announce table to grab the announce table. And then Roman picked up the win.
I'm surprised they didn't put Heyman.
Yeah, I
on
was
him.
expecting we should lace him on top.
Yeah, they should have done.
And they put Theory on top as well. Money in the Bank on top of that. Then the track, no. And then Roman, I thought they were going to do the spot where he was going to get buried underneath the tractor at one point. I thought like, the thing was going to,
I thought they were going to do the Rock Mankind class spot.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the factor was out there for. I'm so glad I was wrong.
Yeah. And yeah, that wrapped it up, and Roman picked up the win. I rated that 4 stars. Very, very good main event.
Yeah.
The best thing at the end was when Reigns was walking out, they panned the camera back, and Theory's just stood there like nothing's happened to him. The camera is on him, and Austin Theory's just stood there like a member of the crowd. Just doesn't know what to do. Clearly doesn't know the camera's on him.
Yeah.
And he's just stood there like nothing's just happened. It's so good.
Yeah, right. See, for me, obviously, there's been quote unquote better matches this year. Reigns notwithstanding, but of course, you had Knoxville, Zayn, the series matches with Cody and
Yeah.
AEW's had some bangers this year as well. But I think that's the most fun I've had watching a match in a while, other than maybe Knoxville and Zayn.
Oh, I was about to lambaste you then, but yeah, it's saved it, doesn't matter.
I stay true to the gimmick, brother. But
yeah, so SummerSlam was a good event, and this led into a good Raw.
Michael Cole, though.
Discuss Cole.
Because he deserves his couple of minutes.
Obviously, I tried telling you guys this a while back when he was doing the likes of Evolution and the Mae Young Classic, that when he's not got Vince in his ear, he's a really good commentator.
Yeah.
But even I forgot how good he can be. And as I say, it was the line when he said back to Corey, a lot's changed.
Yeah.
I was like, you're right, it has, because it's not just Cole. It's much better. All of them are. Even fucking Jimmy Smith was better. I hate Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, because they're not worried what to say now. I don't think they're being fed that much at all.
You're not getting Vince lines anymore, are you? So.
Yeah.
You're probably getting Triple H going, oh, guys, you should mention this. But it'll be like 3 times in a match, as opposed to every single line being fed by Vince.
Yeah.
You're letting the commentator commentate on what he's seeing, and it should always be natural.
Yeah, because it should be.
You have points, obviously, that you have to get across, because the commentators are telling the story as well as the wrestlers. So, yeah, you have your bullet points, but everything doesn't need to be forced.
Yeah, because it just sounds like Vince McMahon is commentating. You might as well have Vince McMahon out there commentating, because not everyone can speak like Vince McMahon.
No.
So, yeah, that was an incredible SummerSlam.
Good.
Genuinely can't remember a better SummerSlam in recent memory anyway. Over maybe 2002, with the last man standing match between, it was the unsanctioned match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar beating The Rock. That's the closest SummerSlam I can think of that comes close to this.
I'm going to interject in that Hogan versus Shawn Michaels was the greatest spectacle at SummerSlam I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen someone sell so well. Shawn Michaels did in that match.
I think of instantly is the big boot. The big boot, and he's hits it, and he's
actually runs around the ring.
Hogan's a straight faced as well.
I don't even think Hogan thought he was overselling.
Hogan's the greatest wrestler ever in Hogan's mind. He's like, I'm making him do this because I'm great. Brother.
So, yeah, that was a really fun, enjoyable show. Obviously, me and Rate have already seen Raw. We'll not say too much about it for the benefit of those watching and Frozzy, who's yet to see the full show. But it's very much more of the same. It's a continuation of awesome Triple H stuff.
Yeah, even SmackDown was good. If you've seen SmackDown, even that was good.
Yeah.
Wrestling's back.
AEW could be in massive trouble here.
It'll either go really well and it'll push them on to do good things, or Tony Khan will panic and Ric Flair will be main eventing.
This week's Dynamite is either going to be an absolute train wreck or it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no in between.
If they don't do either and they stay the course of what they're doing, a lot of jaded WWE fans are walking back to the company. And you've got the likes of your Kat Dennings, who is you might know from Two Broke Girls and the daughter and the 40-year-old virgin. She's been in loads of other things as well. She had the temerity to post, "Oh my God, I think I love WWE now," and had all the tribal AEW fans that are now saying, "That's nice, but you should be watching AEW." A poor lassie is not anything to do with wrestling. She made one tweet about wrestling.
Yeah.
And the carpet trolls came out on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm not just tarring AEW fans of this. Because the WWE stands in response to AEW fans were just as bad.
It's just a toxic mix, in it, when they get together.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But how dare this celebrity watch a WWE show and enjoy it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what gets me sometimes. There's certain stuff I don't like. And I openly admit I don't like Omega and the Young Bucks. but I'm not gonna like keep talking about it all the time. Although now I feel like I am.
All the time, yeah.
But yeah, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't need to have an opinion on everything.
Yeah. So all our socials are in the description as per usual, including our individual ones, which are on screen. Our group Twitter, our show Twitter is @honor_club. That is honor with a U because we are British. As I said earlier, the link to my donation page for Brave the Shaves is in the description there also, as well as our Discord, where you can join, post memes, and just chat. The wrestling, non-wrestling is just a happy, safe place.
Yes, the footballer. Remember that. That's a big thing now.
Yeah, that is our thing. We post the career history of a random footballer and challenge the others to guess it.
I'm enjoying it so much. I'm so bad at it, but I'm enjoying it.
So, thanks everyone for watching. We will see you on Thursday for the regular show, where DP should be back. He has been a busy bee with work lately. And Rate has some cool stuff for us coming up. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but we're branching out our little tendrils. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you next time.
Adios.
Bye.